JRE number 2394 with Palmer Luckey. What if the government knows far more about UFOs than we're told?
You know, I probably shouldn't say too much more, but there's a follow up to it that's coming. That's even.
Wait a minute. Wasn't the phenomenon James Fox?
Was it James Fox?
Was the phenomenon James Fox?
Say again?
James Fox, was that the phenomenon?
Yeah, but the age of disclosure.
He had moment of contact. He had the Virginia. That's the Virginia one. And then didn't he have the phenomenon too? Somebody did it. I saw it. Yeah. Why did I think it was Fox? Yeah. It is Fox. Yeah, Fox has been on here a few times. He's got that crazy one about the Virginia, Brazil sighting. Do you know about that one?
Mm-mm.
That one's nuts. Like the whole town saw this thing. It crashed in the 90s. And they have like a statue of this thing, like as you're entering into the city.
Yep.
And supposedly, this is the crazy story, there was a wounded alien. Mm-hmm. One of the police officers carried this wounded alien in the back of a car. They brought it to a hospital. There's records of them bringing this to the hospital. The hospital said, we can't handle this. We have no take it to a different hospital. So they took it to another hospital.
Yep.
Then the guy who carried the thing gets a severe bacterial infection that's unresponsive to antibiotics and dies.
Whoa.
Yeah, young, healthy, fighting age man gets this weird infection after handling this creature. Multiple witnesses say they saw another one of them. There was like a couple of them. Mm-hmm. One of them was injured that they picked up, and then there was another one that was there. And then many people in the town said that they saw another craft come by to retrieve those aliens. It's a really nutty story because it's the same story is told independently by a bunch of people.
You know, I've kind of got my retirement figured out, and I have for a while.
Can't you just retire right now if you wanted to?
I mean, I could. It's just what I'm doing, I think, is important. So I gotta see my mission through. The government is. We've been spending way too much money on defense, not getting nearly enough for it. So I started Anduril with the goal of saving taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars a year. I need to see that through. But what I want to get to someday is there's a handful of these government groups that are going around looking into things like what you're talking about. They look into the strange phenomenon.
Right.
Those groups do exist, and I've tracked down a few of them. The problem is that they're not taken seriously. They're not well funded, and they're subject to all the same normal rules as an average government employee. Like their problems are not finding weird things. It's stuff like getting approval to buy plane tickets to go somewhere, and getting approval to stay there for 2 nights versus 1 night.
Really?
Oh, it's the typical government bureaucracy where they have to make every penny count. They only have so much money. Anyway, one of my dreams is I'm gonna, at some point when I'm retired, I'm gonna go get deputized by the government, go get my federal badge, and I'll be the government's privately funded X-Files, and I'll just fly around. Dude. I'll fly around in my own plane. I'll have my own team. We'll bring our own sensors, our own computers. Oh man, if only we could bring in this expert, but he's on the other side of the world. So bring him in. Bring him in. Send the plane. Yes,
Put out
sir.
the Palmer signal.
Yeah, yes, sir. He'll be here in 12 hours. I feel like there's enough, and not even just aliens. In general, there's enough weird stuff going on that it doesn't seem like a stretch to have somebody or something that really stays on top of that stuff.
It seems like a very good idea. Did you see The Age of Disclosure? Did you see the documentary?
Age of Disclosure? No, I haven't seen that.
It's a new one, and it has a hypothesis. It has a theory of why there hasn't been disclosure, and a lot of it has to do with the legal implications. Because too many people have been misappropriating funds if this is real.
Sure.
So if this is real...
Like if there's recovered alien crash objects, if those have been parceled out to private companies.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's exactly the dilemma. So say if, let's say, just to make up a name, Lockheed Martin gets it.
Sure.
And they have this back-engineered craft that they're working on, but then Raytheon doesn't get it. Raytheon should be able to sue the government. Like, why'd you do that? Is an unfair competitive advantage. Also, the people that are in charge of the projects, there's all this money that they have to lie to Congress about. Mm-hmm. And so in this documentary, one of the things that they're proposing, guys like Lou Elizondo, and like what is the path to sanity with all this stuff? One of the things that they're proposing is amnesty.
JRE number 2194 with Luis Elizondo. What if something massive is hiding deep beneath our oceans?
And by the way, you already have very senior people in our government that have said it's here, whatever it is.
Right.
But these things could also be from under the water. These things could be something that is as natural to Earth as the little beasties were, right, when we first discovered them. Maybe they've been here all along.
Right.
So
the ocean is largely undiscovered. One of the things that people need to understand is that most of the exploration of the ocean is really essentially around the outside edges.
that's right.
It's around the shores,
Less than 10%. So
which is nuts.
a buddy of mine
90% of the ocean.
That's right.
Like what?
we know more about the moon than the bottom of our own ocean. And so
That's so crazy.
yeah, that's fact.
And these underwater crafts, like this enormous one that apparently was near this oil rig, how many of them have been? Has there been more than one of those videos?
So let me tell you what I can say from open source.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And then I'll tell you about a conversation I had without attribution because I don't want to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's, well, not say everybody. A lot of people are familiar with the Air Force's program called the Fast Walker program, which is a program that was started by the Air Force, among other things, was to detect UFOs. That's a fact. That was part of their mission.
Okay.
To detect a lot of things, adversarial technology, but UFOs was one of them. It's called the Fast Walker program. There was some information that was released publicly about a similar program the Navy has. I can't talk about it because I don't have approval to talk about it. But obviously they're interested because they have equities underwater. They're interested in if there's anything underwater that can perform beyond anything we have. And I remember speaking to one individual who pulled me aside very privately, and he said, Lou, we were tracking this thing doing, and I won't say the exact speed, but hundreds and hundreds of knots underwater, and it was bigger than our own submarine. Right now, you know how big our submarines are, right? They're huge.
Yeah.
And I asked him, naively, I just kind of came out, well, what do you do when you encounter that? And he just said, very honestly, he said, we go around. Just like that, we go around.
Have there been interactions with these things?
I we're not at liberty to discuss any details about that.
Right.
That's not for me to discuss. You and
I got to get drunk.
I'm a lightweight,
I got to get you drunk. Let's go have some whiskey. Find out what the fuck is up. So this thing is bigger than the sub, and they followed it for hundreds of miles.
Let me give you another a great event that occurred. And
Okay.
I'll talk about this because it's not classified.
Okay.
The portions that might be, I don't know about, so it should be fine. There's an individual who I'm aware of who was a helo pilot, a helicopter pilot back in the late 90s in the Caribbean, and they were doing missile recovery. So what happened is that the Navy would test fire missiles, and then they kind of run out of fuel, they hit the water, and they sink. Then at a predetermined time, they pop to the surface, we grab it with a helicopter, bring it back to shore, and we test it for telemetry and make sure that this cruise missile was doing what it was supposed to do. So they're out there in the helicopter, frogmen hanging down the line. You got the helo pilot, you got the crew chief, and the co-pilot looking all down at the bubble. And as they're about to grab this cruise missile out of the ocean, something huge and round, and what was described to me as black as a devil, starts to rise to the surface. The water begins to churn, very much like David Fravor's description of the Tic Tac incident and the roiling water. The frogman is so freaked out, he's literally trying to climb the line back up. He's like total panic at the disco, right? And the helicopter's like, do we do like an emergency ascent? What the hell's going on here? And right as this thing is about, and by the way, it's the size of a small island and round. Right as this thing is about to break the surface, it sucks the missile down and disappears.
Jesus
And that
Christ.
was, yeah. And Dave Fravor could probably tell you that story a little better than I can. But
What
when you
the
compare
fuck?
that to other things, you got to say,
Imagine being that guy hanging from that line.
no, no, thank you. We call that bait.
Yeah, but it didn't do anything to him.
No.
I would have loved that experience.
Yeah, so that was one of the anecdotes that was revealed to us by one of the
Imagine. Who's
Navy
that
helicopter
seal?
pilods.
Who's that guy that was hanging from that?
The frogman?
Was he a seal?
I don't know. I only know the
Bro,
pilot.
come talk to me, please, sir.
I only know the pilot.
We'll put you in a fucking panda outfit. Yeah, we'll disguise your voice. Tell me what the fuck you saw. I want to hear that story. Oh my God, a small island.
Yep.
Black as the devil and
and
a small
round.
island and round.
Yeah, submarines look like this, right? They're not
Right,
round.
right.
So yeah, so that was one of the anecdotes. that was shared with us. Obviously Puerto Rico with the there's been some UAPs that have been recorded off there. Everybody knows about Aguadilla, the Aguadilla incident.
I don't know about it.
Oh, I'm sure you do. You
I
don't know
do?
about
Tell me.
Wow.
Trust me.
So you can look it up online. There's a video taken by a DHS helicopter of a very interesting object. At first, it appears to be like perhaps a balloon, but then it does all sorts of weird stuff. And as you're tracking it, it enters the water without making a splash. You can track it underwater. Then it comes up and splits into two. And it's been analyzed over and over again by a lot of experts. It's called the Aguadilla incident.
Maybe I have seen this. Is it kind of blurry looking night
There we
vision?
go. That's it.
Oh, wow.
And so keep watching that, and I'll tell you a little story about this. This is a Customs and Border Protection released this.
How fast is this thing going?
So if you look here, they're looking at this through a form of night vision. I don't know the exact velocity. All that is available. But if you keep watching this, something interesting happens. So here it goes. You're going to see this thing enter the water here. There he goes, underwater, and then it pops back up and splits into two. They're tracking it. See, no waves, no wake. And then it surfaces and then does something pretty interesting here. So keep watching.
So it's going high speed through the water.
Underwater. That's underwater. Then it breaks the surface of the water again. Keep watching. Boom, underwater, over water, boom, underwater, out of water, and then you'll see it split into two. So
I didn't see it split into two. Did you see it?
If you watch the rest of the video, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, the
Okay,
video is
there.
actually really long, but that's just one example. This is these are, you can see all these videos. They're prevalent. They're everywhere. You see the aircraft on the bottom right. You see the UAP on top that's tracking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No wings, no control surfaces, and it keeps up with the A-10 and does all sorts of interesting maneuvers. Right. So that's an A-10 Warthog.
And this thing's just following it.
Yep, like it's nothing.
Do you think they're trying to let people see them? Like, if you had a guess?
I don't know. I mean, could it be a demonstration of capabilities? We
Yeah.
do that, right? Every time a Russian surveillance aircraft comes by, we launch 2 F-22s and we get real close to it and say, hey,
Right.
be careful.
But not even from a military perspective. Like, if a civilization was trying to alert another civilization about its presence, wouldn't it go towards whatever military vehicles it has and show itself? And then I would imagine that if they understand human beings, they understand our psychology, and they understand that some giant size of an island, black as the devil, circular craft that lands next to the Pentagon would fucking end the world. We would freak out. No one would know what to do. That would be stock market crash, mass chaos. No one would know what to do. The way to introduce yourself, I would imagine, would be gradual over a long period of time to allow this civilization to accept the fact these things exist, and then slowly but surely show versions of themselves.
Yeah, we call that sensitization. You sensitize a population or environment. But, the counter argument to that is that's a very human thing, right? We have, as humans, we always, it's almost innate. We look at everything through anthropomorphic eyes. We look at, our pet dogs and we give them human names and we do things like that because we assign human value to things because we have intentions and motivations. But most of nature isn't that way. Like, for example, when a shark bites a surfer, he's not wanting to hurt the surfer. He's just hungry. The shark's hungry. I don't care if you're a seal or whatever. I'm not trying to inflict pain. I just want to feed my belly. Intended motivation is a very human thing, and we have to, I don't want to say resist the urge because it's almost impossible to do it, but we have to recognize that there are things that may exist that don't have human motivation, meaning maybe they don't care about sensitizing us. Maybe they do, but maybe it's like a computer, right? Maybe it's binary. Maybe there's some sort of binary thought process, just information in and information out. So that's one of the aspects I've always been very careful with is to assign human traits to something that is very likely not human.
JRE number 2112 with Dan Soder. A wild theory suggests advanced civilizations may have evolved underwater.
It's nuts.
But that's alien, dude, it's alien weaponry.
You might be onto something.
They're coming from under the sea.
Here's the
and
thought.
they're giving us weapons. I'm all about USOs now, dude.
Yeah.
I'm all
Undersea UFOs.
It's unidentified submersible objects.
Yeah.
That's where they are, dude.
Yeah.
They're at the floor
That's
of
what
this.
Cat Williams said. Yeah. We were talking about sonar hearing
That just
devices.
touched my heart where I'm like,
Yeah.
do we both have the same crazy theory?
He said, is this correct or incorrect?
Dude, I love that.
We were talking about space, about how we know more about space than we do about the ocean, which is true. And he was saying that those underwater listening devices were most likely so that they could hear UFOs moving around.
Dude.
Because if imagine if there really are bases under the ocean and they know about them.
Well, here's the thing that if they know about them, fuck you, you should tell us. But here's what I think.
Tell us.
The theory I had, because I heard about, I listened to an episode of Last Podcast on the Left where they were talking about USOs, and I got super into it because I was high enough. You know, when the song hits correctly, sometimes
Yes.
the podcast will do that. And I was listening to Last Podcast on the Left, and it hit where I go like, it unlocked because they had this theory that they talked about that the millions of years it took us to crawl out of the water and evolve into fucking whatever we are, like monkeys and then Neanderthals and then humans, all that millions of years, there were things under the ocean evolving for millions of years with technology and stuff, and we're just up on the roof.
But yeah, the problem is we've never seen anything other than us that manipulates its environment. The intelligent things that we found in the ocean that are real are dolphins and orcas.
Yeah.
And whales. But like,
And what about
dolphins and orcas are crazy intelligent.
but like octopuses too,
yes,
right?
that's true too.
Yeah.
But none of them, the octopuses are very smart, but none of them have ever figured out how to make things. Like make houses and cars and ships, and it's all like they're out in the wild. There's no houses. I used to do a bit about how dangerous the ocean is because there's no doors. I'm like, there's no doors. No matter what, it's just
There's
fucking
caves.
sharks and crabs and no doors.
Yeah.
And everywhere you look, everything is eating everything.
Yeah.
It's literal murder soup because they all eat each other.
It's a ladder of eating.
Yeah.
Just everything goes up and eats something.
And at the top, you have killer whales that are eating whales. They eat everything.
But what if we're missing something? What if we don't see it? What if we are too stupid? What if we're just like rock monkeys and they're just like, they can't see down here. These guys have no fucking clue. You know when you're in a tinted car and someone's like looking in the window and you're looking at him like, look at this fucking idiot. He doesn't even see me. What if that's us with the aliens in the water? What if we're like looking down there in the water and they're like, these fucking idiots. Even when they come down here, they can't see shit.
That's possible. It's possible that they also can be completely invisible. Like,
Yeah.
We're really close to being able to do that now with stuff. They figured out how to like project what's behind things on screens. So you can like theoretically have a vehicle that as it's moving through an environment, it's projecting what's there.
That's a predator shit.
Yeah, like literally, that's a concept that they're working on. They're working on it for aircrafts. They're working on it for vehicles.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's so terrifying.
And that's just step one. Step two would be do something that alters reality around the thing so it's invisible.
Yeah.
It like
So that's what. So you go into the ocean, and we're like
Yeah.
down there, and we're so limited because we can't breathe down there. So we're limited. We're in like submarines, or we have robots, and it's just like a fucking ring. Every footage under the sea looks like a Ring doorbell, where it's just like, bzz, bzz, and we don't know what the fuck. They could be behind it, like these idiots.
There's so little of it that we've explored. There's only like 10% of the ocean floor that we've explored.
10%.
That's so crazy.
10%. And then the thing that they always see UFOs or USOs over water, it's like the high frequency that they see them, and then they just fucking just down in there, and they're like, follow me, bitch. And we're like, we can't breathe. You know, space or the ocean, we can't breathe down there. We have a limited amount of room we can move around in.
Just the idea of something being here the whole time is so creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. And them, but us being... What's comforting is we're all so stupid we don't see it.
Right.
Imagine if you had a friend that's like, hey, like if a couple people could see it, you would be terrified.
Imagine if society had gotten to a point at one point in time where artificial intelligence and human brains mixed, and we created a super class of species, like a new thing that's both technological and biological.
Yeah.
and only a small number of beings got that.
I mean,
and those beings, for some reason, left us here the way we are.
Yeah,
that's what we're seeing with these aliens. Those are humans that went down the road that we're going down right now.
And they were like, dude, we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah, and then maybe there was like all the disasters that happened, like the Younger Dryas impact, the asteroids hit, and all that stuff, and level society. But they escape because they're interdimensional travelers.
Yeah, they're
now.
like, we're gonna get the fuck out of here. It's like leaving a house. You're just like, I don't care about this house anymore.
Now we're somewhere else. They don't need food anymore. They probably work on nuclear energy or something. There's probably some crazy power source.
Or like antimatter.
Yeah,
it's like a thing that we would never even think of.
Yeah, they don't need to breed.
The thing that the Jimmy Carter brief, did you know about this when where they briefed him and it like broke him emotionally? Where he was like so upset where they were like, hey, by the way, they've been here forever. Like he was like a deeply religious man.
Well, Tucker Carlson's talked about this recently.
Really?
Yeah, Tucker Carlson said that he believes that they've always been here, and he believes that it's probably he was talking about like good and evil, and that we know that good exists and we know that evil exists.
Sure,
we know that people are capable of doing evil. Like these are real forces in the world.
Yeah,
and what people are saying is that these experiences that some people are having with like benevolent ones, that this is the stories of demons. This is the stories of the Bible. That there's races that are evil. There's alien races that don't give a fuck, just like there's praying mantises that eat hummingbirds.
Or, like in nature.
Just because they're super smart.
There are creatures that are aggressive, that are smart, like a hyena, and then there's like animals that are aggressive and just powerful, like lions. Like,
and think about us, the smartest animal on the planet that we know of, and what do we do to chickens?
Fuck them. No.
Those chickens.
I go, no, you don't fuck. Oh, goddamn. This is where my whole world unravels. I go, Joe, I fuck chickens, dude. I don't know. I didn't think you were going to get me like that.